Absolute Batman issue 14, Scott Snyder writing with Nick Dragotta on the art. So, Bane gets pretty big in this issue. He
Look, I know nothing about anime, but I know an Attack on Titan reference when I see it.
Oh, I don't.
That's how. So I just know that, you know, Attack on Titan, these big, huge, like kaiju monsters, right? But they look like humans or whatever, and they're very grotesque sized. And there's a certain point where Bane feels like one of these characters from all the things that I've seen from Attack on Titan, and I just think that's cool. Like, I like that Snyder's just doing things, you know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this all revolves around the fight. You know, Batman's called out Bane to meet him at the stadium to have this fight. And it seems like he's got a plan. It seems like he's talked to Selina about something in the plan. He's talking to Alfred for sure. And Alfred's like, hey, we'll do one test with this Venom to see if it works. And then because we've got two batteries, we've got two rounds of Venom we can inject you with. And the idea is that you fight as much of it as you can to let Bane expend all of his energy in Venom. And then you take yours at the last possible second and win the fight, hopefully. Ultimately, of course, that's not what Batman's plan actually is. Batman's plan is to make Bane hulk up as much as possible with all of his Venom, and then shoot the Venom he's got into Bane to overload him, effectively, right? That's what Catwoman's part in this all is. She's waiting with a sniper rifle to fire the Venom at Bane when he's already, you know, his skin's already pulling apart with the muscle mass coming out of it. He's already ridiculous.
Grotesque.
Oh, jeez.
In boxing, you've heard of rope-a-dope, right?
I've heard of the term, yes.
That's effectively what it is. The initial plan is we're going to get him to expend all of his energy, you know, in a boxing, it's throwing all these punches, whatever. And then when he has got no more energy, now it's your turn, right? Because you're conserved. You've been in defense.
Well, that's what they're setting up. What it ends up being, though, is like, get him to use all of his energy and then shoot him with like 5 injections of adrenaline and see if his heart explodes. Like, that's what the plan actually is.
Absolutely. And yeah, it ends up being kind of like in Rocky 3, the bully, right? Is now the Batman gets him to the point where he's so big he can't move. Now Batman can do whatever he wants, you know? And I was not expecting that, because I was like, oh man, we're gonna get a Venom Batman taking out this Bane, you know? And it wasn't that at all. So I did like that it flipped expectations a bit.
Yeah, I like that. I like that it just instantly made sense. I'm like, oh, this actually works. I get it, right? Other than the fact that, like, I mean, technically you'd argue, like, he's doing this not knowing if it'll kill Bane, but Absolute Batman's a bit looser with that, so I'm not going to get too pernickety about it.
if it won't kill him, it'll definitely maim him, and that's okay. I have an axe on my chest at all times.
We see him at the end. He's basically just eyes in a brain and a test tube at the end of this.
It's like Reanimator.
Yeah. But no, I like that there's a couple of pages just kind of recapping things, but within, like, I think it's page 3, the actual panels of Bane walking into the stadium, and the whole thing mirrors when Wayland had his fight, you know, the one we've been building up to in the flashbacks, where you're going to go down the 7th round, take the money, and he sort of fired Bruce's trainer for suggesting this or that. And this fight takes place throughout the whole thing, and it's actually really fun and nice when we get to, like, towards the end of it, and yeah, Wayland won the fight. He you know, he looked like he was down, it looked like he was out, but Bruce ran down to the cage or whatever, the ring, and gave him encouragement, and then Wayland kind of won with like a fancy flip move at the last minute, and it kind of mirrors how the fight's going between Batman and Croc, where no one thinks Batman can win this. It's impossible. He's huge. But then the other element of this is we've also got Harley with all of the cameras and the drones. Like, her gang are making sure all of this is broadcast so that everyone's seeing, and it's helping build the specter of Batman. It's like, hey, the entire city, the world's going to see Batman take down Bane and know that someone's fighting for Gotham. So, you know, it's advancing that side of, like, this early days Batman stuff where it's enhancing his image to everyone. But then the actual fight itself is pretty thrilling, because yeah, you've got this big hulking, you know, Bane, and you got Batman pulling out all the stops. You've got the Batmobile coming out and, like, trying to, like, you know, tether him in the eye. So Bane's eyes, like, popping out, like, for the rest of the fight, because it's regenerated, but it's regenerated in, like, a weird, like too big way. So he looks kind of like really weird and creepy for the rest of it. It's good
super
stuff.
Monstrous. Yeah. God, yeah. Just Dragotta's art here as it goes, you know, like each time you see Bane, he's got more, you know, muscle and sinew, and he looks like he's in a pop, you know. And then it gets to that point on that last page where I'm trying to get back there when it looks like he's exploding with the venom, and he is just like just what I imagine a tumor would look like, right? Just as these growths.
It's
everywhere.
not a tumor.
Yeah, and no, this is a man. So you know, but yeah, it's so icky and nasty, and has just been the entire arc has had these moments, but this one is like the biggest and grandest, and I feel like Snyder and Dragotta really built to it.
Oh, it
really,
built to a
well.
climax for sure. I think what I love about it, because they obviously were spending issues and issues building till Bane, and how Bane just completely destroyed Batman the first time and all the rest of it. And this question of, will Batman have to give himself up and become a monster like Bane to fight back? They kept playing into it, right into this issue. And one of the great things for Size as well is that one of the tactics they use halfway through the fight is to, they've got Croc, like, you know, Wayland as Killer Croc jumps out, and he's this big crocodile creature. And there's a great big, almost full page spread. I say that because there's like a little panel at the top of him coming out, but which I love that panel as well. Actually, just the hand or the claw, or the paw, or whatever you call a reptile's hand, right? It coming out like a monster movie kind of moment, and then just this big panel of him jumping at Bane. And they're kind of similar sizes here, and we know Croc's very big. We've seen him in the sewer, we've seen him relative to Batman before, and it feels like he's a very similar size to Bane, and that means Bane's really big already, for the record. Like, Bane is huge if he's the same size as Croc. But after, like, you know, the next page, when Croc's wrapped around him, you see that Bane's getting bigger than Croc is. Like, he's actually getting bigger and bigger, to the point where by the time Batman tells him to go, because Bane's going to do the Kong thing, he's going to snap Croc's jaws. He's pulling his mouth apart.
I was so worried.
Yeah,
like, the tension on this is so well.
And because it mirrors, this is exactly in the flashback when Bruce is running down to like help him in the fight and give him advice, so he's got someone in his corner. This mirrors Batman jumping in onto Bane's, like, the back of his neck with his axe, and basically he says that he's paralyzed him by this move because he's severed his spinal column or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, Croc, you've done enough. Wayland, you can leave now." And that final panel of like him leaving next to Bane, like lying down in pain, like he looks like a Komodo dragon or something next to him now, because Bane's so big. He looks tiny in comparison. So yeah, and it's after that where Bane kind of pops the last round of venom, and like you can just see the flesh coming out of his back, and it looks gross. And at this point, he's a kaiju pretty much. And then obviously, you know, just as he's coming in to bash Batman, and Alfred's saying, "Take it now, take it. You won't win now. I don't believe you can win, but if you take the venom, maybe you can get away from him." But what Alfred doesn't know is that Selina's up there with the venom gun with the darts, and it's kind of a great twist. And Joey, it looks like actually that in that almost full page spread where he's like breaking up and the green venom's like firing out of his mouth and eyes. It looks a lot like I'm trying to think, what movie am I thinking of here? But do you know there's like movies where the monster like dies at the end, and you see like light coming out of their eyes and mouth as they're dying? Yeah. It's giving me that kind of visual. I mean, here it's not light. Here it's presumably venom that's spewing out, but it looks very similar with the way it's beaming out of them.
No, definitely.
It's a cool visual.
Like it's the energy that is the venom can't be contained, you know. But yeah, there's also this narrative piece that there's like little panels of like red with green, which is supposed to be like Bane's blood, right? As it goes. And then halfway through the issue, it's all green with little specks of red. And right before they inject him here with the Selina's darts, it's almost red again, like the venom's coming down. And when she hits him with right, that's where we get the whole big green transformation stuff again. Yeah. Which again, I thought was a fun little narrative thing, letting you kind of know where the venom's at and kind of what Bruce's plan is.
Yeah. Also, there's a panel where he says, Bane says to Batman, it's right before where he's like, "Go on, use it." Like he's even taunting him, "Use some venom, see if you can take me." You can see in his shoulder, he's got like a mouth and an eyeball growing in his shoulder. Like he's actually a mutant right now. He's just growing extra parts everywhere. It's super grotesque, and it does a lot of flashback afterwards where it's like, hey, not only like the reason why they have 2 doses of venom was because any that was still in Bruce's system from the testing they did on him, like he had Riddler take all that out and give it to Selina for the gun, and that's why they have this. So we get this nice big thing where it's like, oh, he used his friends, and it cuts to Two-Face who's in bandages, like telling Penguin, who's lying there, like, hey, like, Bruce did it. He kicked his ass. Like, there's kind of a nice sense of like everyone seeing this, everyone being aware of it. It's a whole thing. So the coda, where we see Bane is still in a test tube, he's just eyes a brain and like a spine. And the doctor lady's talking to him. She puts on a message, Joker, the man who never laughs, pops up on screen. Because Bane's thinking, oh, he can finally go home to Santa Prisca now, right? That's what he's been wanting. And he even said that at the start of the issue. Like, I'm going to do this one last fight, and then I'm going home. I've served my time. I'm going to go be in Santa Prisca. And Joker appears on screen and says, I don't think that'd actually make you happy. I think you're happier having a purpose, doing stuff for me. So to keep your mind off of Santa Prisca, I'm just going to take it off the board. And he literally nukes Santa Prisca. The final panel of this is the reflection in Bane's eyeball watching his like home country be nuked from orbit. So all those people on his country are all dead. Honestly, if anything makes me think that Bane might end up being an ally in the future, it's this. Like, he might rebel hard later because of this. Jesus. Yeah.
Well, and that's the whole thing. And the difference between Bruce and Bane is Bruce isn't going to sell out here, right? Like, Bane sold out to get what he wanted, ultimately, right? Which is to preserve Santa Prisca. You know, he flipped on his dad, and it was called, the whole thing was called Free Skies, right? Cielos Libres. And then Joker even uses that against him. He goes, well, what was that called? And then we get that panel of the plane dropping all the bombs.
Yep.
And, you know, and it's just like, oh man, this Joker does not play at all. Like, he is nihilism personified. Like, nothing matters.
He did so much country. And to your point, even during the issue, there was a bit of dialogue between Batman and Bane where Bane's like, oh, we're not so different, you and I. Which, admittedly, that line made me groan because it's such a cheesy line now because it's always used with villains and heroes. But that's kind of the point that we're getting at, though, is they both lost their father, they both, you know, became determined and all that, but they have, you know, where they diverted is how they've went about it. And, you know, so I think this ending's fun. It does make me excited for Bane's eventual kind of like comeback, and like, you know, is he more vilified because of this? Is he maybe someone who might want to, like, if not be an ally to the heroes, but at least want to kill Joker and that, you know, enemy of my enemy, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of potential there.
Did you mention that he's just a lump of flesh at the end, Bane?
Well, that's before the test tube. Yeah, before we see him in the test tube. Because presumably Joker's people have come in and collected the remains and put them in the test tube.
And that Batman puts him in the back of the Batmobile dump truck and dumps him into the bay.
That's right, yeah.
Floating over to Arc M over there. I thought that was a real funny visual as well. Him just backing it up and dumping the trash.
It looks, you know, it does look like he's polluting weirdly though, right? It looks like it's just floating like a massive, like, you know, polluted garbage. It's kind of wild. Also worth mentioning, Selina took the second vial of venom because there was 2 and she only fired 1 amount's worth at Bane, so she's got a sample of venom. So that maybe that'll lead into our miniseries. Maybe in a couple months.
Yeah, because she's getting on a plane and heading somewhere. We don't know, right?
So yeah, she's on her own for a little bit for a miniseries, so that's cool. Yeah, it says next time Joker, so we're finally getting to the man who doesn't laugh. So that's fun too. And yeah, credit to the art. That's, you know, a lot of the fight is really epic. The staging of the stadium, the empty stadium around them, is very good. You get a sense of Harley soldiers running around the stands with the various things. The build up of Croc coming up out of the opening, which is very, very like Gladiator when they like released the tiger. You know, it's very much kind of the same thing where they pull back the cover and out comes Killer Croc. All the big money moments of Bane hulking up or hulking up too much are all really well done. Or when Croc's fighting in Bane, because this idea that Batman's got all these allies that he can kind of use to help a little bit is a really kind of sweet element to what's otherwise a very dark version of Batman. So it's fun seeing them all come into play during this. So, yeah. No, it's good. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous, well paced. Could arguably be the best issue of Absolute Batman yet. I think there's an argument for it.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there is a sense of triumph at the end here that I did not feel at the end of the first arc, right? With the Black Mask stuff, like the stuff that we saw Bruce go through, his friends and everything, and him to get an actual win here in front of everybody, it being broadcast. And like you said, it kind of reminds me in The Dark Knight Returns when he fights the Mutant King or the Mutant Gang Leader, right? And to prove the point that we don't do things that way. It was like that, but on a much bigger scale. So yeah, it feels real fulfilled. Yeah,
I mean, and they've been building to this for 14 issues basically. I mean, or at least very specifically for the last like 6 issues. So it feels like a good payoff. Like, I think overall, I think this arc is the better arc of the book so far. I think it was really well paced. I know there was that one issue that there was some disagreements on, but I enjoyed that, and I think it's all built to this and paid off wonderfully. So, what are you giving Absolute Batman?
I'm gonna give this a 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9.5. Going super high on this one. I really like this.